Welcome to the Living Wisdom YouTube channel. The topic we want to discuss today is stress. What causes stress? What is stress? What are the effects of stress? And how can we release stress? This is the topic that we want to delve into very deeply today. And if you've ever had any questions about stress and how to release stress and what causes stress, we'll be answering those questions in this talk today. So I'm so glad you've come. What actually is stress? Stress can be defined as a physiological abnormality existing at either the material or the structural level of the physiology. When I speak about the material level of the physiology, I mean the chemical makeup of the physiology. That means maybe there's not enough calcium and there's too much potassium, or there's not enough iron and there's too much magnesium, or there could be some chemical imbalance in the physiology. And at the structural level, we're speaking about the bones or the joints or the muscles. Maybe there's some tightness in the muscles. Maybe some bone has broken at some time, which has caused a structural stress. There could be a structural stress from a fall or any type of injury to the muscles or the bones or the tissues. So these are the different types of stresses, the material stress or the structural stress. How is stress actually caused? Stress is caused by an undue pressure of experience, an undue overload to the system. And what do I mean by that? I mean that at some point in our life, maybe we had some very strong emotional experience with some emotional overload. Maybe something happened or something happened which upset us very much, and that created some overload to the system. Maybe we were very upset about the way someone spoke to us or something that happened in the family, and this created some pressure of experience, some psychological or emotional overload. An emotional overload can be due to anger, it can be due to fear, it can be due to grief. It can be due to any manner of different things. An overload to the system can even be due to an overload of happiness. People have even gained stress sometimes from winning the lottery because it was such a shock to their system that they couldn't handle it. So that could even be an experience, a positive experience, which caused an undue overload or some pressure to the physiology. Maybe the physiology wasn't strong enough to integrate that experience. So stress can be caused from any number of different things. Maybe overworking, staying up too late at night, overeating, a stressful accident, or a stressful someone shining a very bright light in our eyes, or hearing a very loud noise all of a sudden can cause a stress to the physiology. So stresses are basically caused by an undue pressure, any pressure of experience which causes an overload to the machinery of the body. So this is what we mean by stress, and we've gone into some of the different causes of stress, and we understand now that stress is due to some pressure of experience. It could even be due to violating a law of nature, like eating a very heavy meal at midnight. That will cause an undue pressure to the digestive system, because the digestive system will not be able to digest a large meal in the middle of the night. So that's some wrong decision making, and that can cause a pressure to the whole physiology and lead to some imbalance in the functioning of the physiology. So now we know what stress is and what causes stress. What are the effects of stress? The effects of stress is that they interfere with the free and full expression of creativity, energy, and intelligence in the physiology. Too much stress can give rise to dullness, So we're not able to think clearly. We're not able to make good decisions. There's some confusion in the mind. That's caused by an undue pressure, some stress. It's not allowing the energy to flow in the physiology. And we're not able to make clear decisions due to it's like some blockage. Stress causes a blockage in the free and full expression of creativity and intelligence in our physiology. And it's like as if someone was gripping a hose and the water cannot flow freely through the hose. In the same way, stress blocks. It creates blockages in the physiology, and also those blockages are expressed in the mental functioning as well, because the mind-body are really one continuum. One influences the other, and we all know that most diseases really arise from lack of ease or some psychosomatic reason gives rise to the lack of harmony in the functioning of the physiology, because the mind-body function as one integrated continuum. So now we understand what stress is, some of the reasons that we accumulate stress, and the effects of stress. Stress causes some instability, it causes confusion. Stress causes suffering, it might cause some chronic disease, it gives rise to some imbalances in the physiology, some chemical imbalances, maybe hormone imbalances. These are all the effects of stress. And they're the effects of lifestyle choices that we make. Maybe we have a habit of working till midnight or staying up till 2 a.m. That's a lifestyle choice, and that causes great stress to the whole physiology, because if we can't rest properly, there's no way to release the stresses that we've gained during the day. So now we want to come to the very important aspect of how can we release stress. This is very important because there isn't a single person that doesn't encounter some stressful situation at some time in their life. And the way that we can release stress, there is a very effective technology for the release of stress. And that technology is Transcendental Meditation. I'm a teacher of Transcendental Meditation, and I have been for many, many years. And Transcendental Meditation is actually the most scientifically researched technique for self-development in the world. There are more than 10 million people practicing the technique in over 100 different countries around the world. And there have been countless scientific studies done, more than 300 or 600 scientific studies done in more than 30 different research institutes and universities around the world. These studies have indicated the growth of the growth of our mental abilities, mental potential. The conscious capacity of the mind increases when we meditate, because what happens is stress can only be released through rest. Rest releases stress. The rest we gain during the night releases the fatigue that we've gained during the day. But the more deeply rooted stresses that can't be alleviated by the rest we gain during the night don't have a way of being released unless we find a way to rest much more deeply. One of the first scientific studies that was done on Transcendental Meditation showed that the level of rest we gain after 10 minutes of meditation is more than twice as deep as the rest we gain after 6 hours of sleep during the night. And this was measured by the level of oxygen consumption. In the first 10 minutes of practicing Transcendental Meditation, the system gains a very, very deep state of rest. The whole system settles down. The mind settles down to quieter and quieter and quieter levels of the thinking process. And because of the relationship between the mind and the body also settles down to a very, very deep state of restfulness. It is a state of restful alertness. The mind is fully alert and awake and fully aware, but the body is very deeply rested. This is a unique style of functioning of the physiology, and it has the effect of alleviating deeply rooted stresses which have been sitting in the physiology maybe for a very long time. They begin to be released. And this shows in the scientific evidence, which shows that mind-body coordination increases, reaction time increases, the coherence and synchrony between the right and the left hemispheres of the brain and the back and front of the brain increase, academic performance increases, IQ increase. All these different factors come as a result of the deep rest we've gained. Also, we find that the health, blood pressure normalizes, there's a decreased workload on the heart, the factor stress hormones decrease in the physiology, and there are so many different scientific parameters which have been measured. Social relationships improve, job performance is enhanced. There's more of a self-actualization of the whole body and the mind. We begin to function as an integrated whole, and the whole system becomes more balanced and more integrated and more enriched as a result of the practice. So this is one way we can release stresses very effectively. Meditation, transcendental meditation, is practiced sitting quietly in a chair for 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the evening. And they're qualified instructors in every major city in the world. Another way that we can release some of the stress from the physiology is by drinking boiled water regularly during the day. If we keep a flask of boiled water at our desk or wherever we're working, and take a few sips of boiled water every half an hour, every 15-20 minutes, this will begin to wash away the toxins which may have been accumulated in the physiology through wrong eating food which has pesticides in it, genetically modified food, eating at the wrong time. All these different factors can be mitigated by drinking boiled water regularly during the day. Another way we can enhance our digestive processes, and digestion is very important for keeping the system free from disease, is by eating our main meal at midday. And at midday, I mean between 11 and 2 in the afternoon, when the sun is at its high point in the sky. That's when our digestive fire is the strongest, and that's when it's ideal to have our main meal. If we eat at the right time, and we eat pure organic food as much as possible, be careful of the pesticides and the genetically modified organisms, and we eat at the right time, this will really safeguard our health to a great extent. So exercise is also important. It's very good to go for a morning walk when the sun is rising, because the sun energizes the system, and it's ideal to exercise in the morning or the early afternoon. We should never exercise in the evening after 6 p.m. because this will be detrimental to health. So these are just some of the different ways we can release stress in the physiology. And if you find this helpful, please leave some comments in the comment section. I'd love to know your feedback on some of the ideas that I've mentioned today, and how you feel about these techniques for release of stress. So I enjoy speaking to you so much. I hope you will subscribe to my channel so that we can continue going much more deeply into ways to enhance our self-awareness and enrich every aspect of our lives so that we can achieve more and gain greater fulfillment in every aspect of life. So thank you so much for coming, and I look forward to speaking to you again very, very soon. All the very best.